Hello, I'm Rajkumari Neogy, and I'm the founder of iRestart. I've spent the last 30 years of my career in Silicon Valley, 14 years in startups, 3 years at Adobe, and 2 years at Facebook. And Facebook was amazing. I mean, like, seriously amazing. I had the best boss. I had the best team. I had the best role, the best salary, and my goodness, it was Facebook. I could eat anything I wanted to at pretty much any time I wanted to. But what was really interesting about working at Facebook, besides how amazing it was, is that I began to feel excluded. And that confused me. That confused me tremendously because I was having a great time and yet I didn't feel connected. I didn't feel as though I fit in. So I ended up quitting. And I left and I went over to Southeast Asia for 2 months and I ate a ton of noodles and did quite a bit of research on why was it that I was feeling excluded. And I came back, started a company, built a consulting firm, developed a coaching framework called Disruptive Diversity from the ground up to address exactly this. How to deal with exclusion. What is exclusion and why does it hurt so darn much? The research now shows us that when someone has the experience of emotional pain, such as exclusion, not belonging, it actually registers in the brain as physical injury. It's like you're getting kicked in the shin. It hurts that much. And when this happens over and over and over again, depending upon who you are as an individual and your own historical archives, you kind of shut down in your own particular way. Like your tailored version of exclusion. And so over the course of time, that kind of bleeds into things like imposter syndrome, perhaps, or even team dysfunction. And we wonder why we have arrived the place that we've arrived within organizations. The Disruptive Diversity framework actually works through kind of this vicious cycle that teams have, which is like bias and dysfunction and inability to communicate, and moves into a virtuous cycle. Belonging, relationship building, and of course, team performance. So using the Disruptive Diversity framework, what we teach individuals to really, truly understand is a vacillation between the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. How the left hemisphere actually speaks transactionally and how the right hemisphere actually speaks relationally. And because we are a very heavily left hemispheric organization, how we're really heavily weighted in doing and executing and reframing and giving advice and problem solving, we don't really have the muscle as much as we would like to relate. What we're seeking to do here is actually move from a corrosive team culture, however diluted or concentrated it may be for different organizations, different teams, to a cohesive team culture. And how we do this in the Disruptive Diversity framework is we actually create self-regulation. And self-regulation is, in fact, the ability to move, oscillate, shift dynamically, and pivot between left and right. When we are able to do that far more saliently, far more fluidly, and far more fluently, now we stand in a place of culture, team, organization that is solid, pivotal, and self-managing. The New York Times article that talked about the 180 most effective teams at Google talked about the one tenet, there were 5, but the number one tenet that really made them so effective is psychological safety. And they defined psychological safety by 2 traits. The ability to take conversational turn-taking and the ability to kind of sense into what was going on non-verbally with their teammates. And the combination of the 2 really created a place where people would take risks, really solve for problems, and feel incredibly safe. And that's what we're doing here at Disruptive Diversity. We're creating a place that is just awesome.